The word productivity is something जिसका मीनिंग सबके लिए अलग होता है। आई मीन देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ वर्ड्स जिसका मीनिंग सबके लिए अलग होता है। आई मीन डेक्स्टर
Yeah.
मीन्स समथिंग टू यू एंड डेक्स्टर मीन्स समथिंग टू मी, which is totally different. I think productivity is also something that people should, you know, understand कि it's not just जहाँ से आपका knowledge बढ़े या फिर you can earn a lot of money or it helps you do that, but it is also somewhere where you have the mental and emotional satisfaction of something that you are doing. Productivity means making you be better, be it in any prospect. So I think that is something that people should acknowledge.
In the world that we live in today, art and creativity has expanded to so many fields. I mean, it's not just paintings or sketches or even sculptures. Everything in this world today needs creativity, and creativity is something that makes everything an art today. But unlike any art, graffiti is an art in itself. So, in this episode, I talked to David about graffiti in India today. This person has been learning and making graffiti since the last 8 years. So, anything that he talks about in this episode, he talks with experience and knowledge. Failures, struggles, prejudices. He has faced it all, but he still continues to follow his passion. So, without further ado, enjoy episode number 27 with David Dessuh, aka Dexter.
Hey David, thank you so much for doing this episode with me today. I'm really excited to talk about your whole, journey as a graffiti artist, how it started for you, and to know a lot more about graffiti artists and graffiti itself. I think there are a lot of terms, lot of different styles that we don't know about, and the whole, how the whole sector is for the graffiti artist in India. We also don't know about that. And you coming from Calcutta, and graffiti being more acknowledged in cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi. It's like something that is new, that is coming up in this side of our country, in this part of our country. So I'm really excited to talk about your journey. So thank you so much for doing this episode.
And most thanks to you, Samarth, for making me a part of it and giving me a chance so that I can share my experience with you and with others too. Yeah, my name is David Dessuh, and I'm a graffiti artist based in Kolkata. I've been making graffiti since 2015. Like that was the time I got to know and I started off. Currently, I'm a student. I'm in third year pursuing my hotel management.
In the world that we live in today, there are so many people who aspire to do something that they're passionate about, but they also need to think about, their own studies and their careers in respect to their studies and everything. So it's really commendable that you are trying to do two things at the same time, and I think it's been a while that you have been doing graffiti since the time it was introduced to you. So I think we all, our audience, and even me would really like to know how it all started for you. How it was introduced to you, what made you so passionate about it that you are still continuing to do, and you've also made a very beautiful wall art behind you. That's amazing. So please tell us your story.
Yeah, so it was like I was in class 8 when I first got introduced to what graffiti is. There was a friend of mine. He was making a few tags in his notebook. So that tag is considered as the signature which graffiti artists make. It can be just tagging like. There are graffiti artists who just go out for tagging their names out on the walls just so it's actually very attractive. It attracts people's minds. Anyone who is passing by and they see on a meter box or on a big wall someone has written something with different colors, especially with spray cans and all. So it's very unique, and it's that's why people notice and wonder what it actually is, who must be behind this work, or like who has written this. So this friend of mine, he was tagging in his notebook, and I was very curious to know what it actually was, because it seemed very different from usual creative writing or writing in Roman fonts or like the old school typography. So it was very different, and like the structure and the formation of all the letters, it was very smooth. So like I had a lot of reasons for me liking a simple tag. So I asked him what it actually is. So he told me it's a tag and it's a part of graffiti. So that was a very new word for me, because before that I never knew what graffiti actually is, or even if it existed. So I started doing my research and I found out a lot of stuff about graffiti, starting with tags, because that was the first thing I saw. So it was so unique, and it grabbed my attention and interest that I felt like, I want to do this. Like, I want to learn how to do this. But the main part is, we all know that sure, we have a hell lot of art schools, or, people who teach you how to make drawings or sketches. There are art tuitions too, but nobody teaches how to make graffiti. So that was one, negative point I would add. Because, of course, like, it was a very new thing to people and hardly anyone knew about it. So I asked my friend to show me a couple of tags or any other thing he has made. So quite often he used to, like, when he had literally nothing to do in class. So he used to sit with his copy and he used to just make tags, like write his own names or write a quote. And sometimes I saw him making, a particular style of graffiti, like blockbuster or bubble style. So even that was very interesting and very unique, because of course, new thing. So it took me a lot of time to understand the fundamentals and the basic part of it. I started practicing, and by practicing I mean whether I was at home or in tuition or in school, whatever surface I used to get, like notebook, textbook, even my eraser, like, you could just make it with a pencil on an eraser. So I never left any surface empty. I used to try and make tags, make the simplest style of graffiti. I used to write stupid shit, but I used to like keep trying, because I wasn't getting there. I think I not wasted. It took me nearly 1 year to understand and make a proper tag. So it was really hard for me, to be very honest. But I was like, since the beginning, I was very curious about it, because I wanted to, do it. And on top of that, I knew that hardly anyone knows about it, and like even if they knew, they didn't want to continue or start off. If they were on a break, they did not want to start all over again. And that is the question I still have in mind, like why? Because it's a very, I know everything is creative and artistic, but graffiti is still very underrated. And like, to be very honest, nobody wants to take the initiative ki, acha, haan, I want to learn, and I will do it. I will learn somehow. Like, I will have a separate time for this, and I will try to understand all the things, like how to make, how it's all made, the fundamentals, this, that. Even if you don't understand the fundamentals, I'm ready to make it. I'm ready to try. Nobody takes the initiative. I don't know why.
The biggest thing is that you had this curiosity inside you, and it made you this way, that this is some kind of art that people don't know about. The first things first, The other thing is that a lot of people are not going to teach you about it, as you said, that that's a negative point here. And getting the chance to, you said that you started the sentence that you wasted, but you corrected yourself and said that ki nahi, you tried the whole year. That's why you are where you are today, and you still want to do graffiti. You still take the chance, take the opportunity, wherever you can, to have the space. And if you get an opportunity from some big brand or someone who wants you to make some kind of wall art, or you just want to do it for yourself, you take that chance and that opportunity. And I totally agree with you when it comes to some kind of difficulty, like being a graffiti artist can be difficult in a lot of aspects. First things first, जैसे हम लोग ने अभी आपने भी बोला और मैं भी बोल रहा हूँ कि starting the part without even knowing its ABCD, like anything about it, उसके बावजूद भी you started, and that's something that not a lot of people know about, not a lot of people are into. It's just that कि they get a spray can someday, they do it sometimes, and उसके बाद they leave it, as you said. And it's not कि after even 8-9 years you are still doing it, you're still continuing it, and you're enjoying it. And right now you're talking to me about it, giving me information about whatever knowledge you have, whatever you have experienced, whatever you have seen. So it's incredible, and I am for sure, David, that there have been a lot of challenges in your life regarding this whole prospect, regarding the whole graffiti journey that you have had. But I would really like to know this. There are a lot of prejudices when it comes to something unorthodox like this, like you, what you're doing, like I am doing, because I think our parents have not seen those kinds of things which we are trying to see today, or we are getting to see today. Podcasts, different artists coming up, doodle artists getting huge opportunities, bakers getting huge opportunities. Different kinds of things are being brought up, and it's not the mainstream business or mainstream job, or mainstream some professional thing that has been going on. I mean, there are so many different things that have come up in the last few years that people actually don't still know about. So, getting into something like this, which is very unorthodox, can have a lot of prejudices of its own, can get a lot of, point outs from your family, your friends, your parents, and, your close ones, anyone. So I would really like to know, was there any kind of prejudice that you faced? Was there any kind of thing that your parents, your family, or your friends told you when you started to do this, or you're still doing it? Would you like to share with us?
Yeah, for sure. To be very honest, I still face challenges like till date. And as you pointed it out, most parents, they don't understand, so they do not support. So I never had a support from my family side, to be very honest. And talking about support, I did get a lot of support from my friends, like my online friends too, and a lot of people. So talking about challenges, I would say ki I was even forced to stop making graffiti just because I could not explain ki what it actually is and how far it can take me. Because honestly, in the past times, even I did not know ki it can take a person that far if there are opportunities. So there is a big if before you talk about opportunities. So yeah, I have faced a lot of challenges from family side, from even from outsiders. Like I think you must be knowing ki graffiti, making graffiti, it's not allowed everywhere. You cannot make graffiti everywhere. It's in Kolkata. You would find certain places, like hardly 3 to 4 places which are legalized for making graffiti. Other than that, if you go anywhere else to make a graffiti without any permission, there will be the whole crowd chasing you out. Like, they will not let you make graffiti because they have a mindset, and it's not their fault actually. I will come back to this point. they have a mindset ki you are trying to make something which will actually turn out to be ruining their property or the authenticity of that place. They have this thing in mind. And how did it? How did this mindset develop? You must be knowing ki you must have seen, like everyone has seen, uh, you know, peculiar writings on the wall. This person loves this person. Rahul loves Priya. Rahul hearts Priya. All this shit is written almost everywhere. We all have seen it. So this is what people don't like. And of course, like if someone, if I own a place, like I own a house, and someone comes one night and writes all this shit, even I will get pissed off and I will not support it because it's not right, right? So it's actually like directly, it's not the fault of people's mindset, but it has been developed by these people who write all the bullshit, like whatever they like. So right now, at this point, it is pretty difficult to change their mindset and make them understand that we are not writing Rahul loves Priya, but this is adding. It's an add-on to the beauty of the city. Like we are trying to create something which would look pretty, and it will add on to the authenticity of that place. Because art is something, I consider art as a religion. It truly is a religion because it can change a lot of stuff. Without art, like I don't think the world would be a beautiful place. So yeah, back to the challenges topic. So there were a lot of people who did not let me or my group to go and make art thing. So I consider that as a challenge too. And yeah, cops are another thing. Like they are the main person over here because they won't understand. First of all, like I would like to add on ki not all cops are like this, because I have come across a couple of cops who do understand this form of art, and they know ki people go around making this kind of art and they do their signatures. Uh, and it is pretty nice to know that cops do understand, and I think almost all cops should be like this and understand ki they should distinguish ki this person might write some shit, but no, this person might make some art, and there's a huge difference in between. So I would share my experience later regarding this cops part.
Okay, definitely. I think bringing this point out where people do not accept other artists to come, and they think it's like vandalizing their property, but it's not just that. I think and even the cops part that you said, that there are a lot of cops who are acknowledged, like in a way that they are helpful, and they know about this. They know how the graffiti artists are, and what are these tags and signatures and everything. And there are some cops who don't have the knowledge. Do you know what I my question to you is that what is that thing that is stopping those people to know more about it? Is it knowledge? Is it more acknowledgement that they don't give, or is it a chance that they are not giving to actually understand this kind of art?
There are a lot of reasons here. I would say some people, they do not support this because lack of knowledge about this. Some people, they do have knowledge about this, at least some knowledge about it, but they just don't want to allow. I have come across people like that. So yeah, there are like 2 or 3 types of people. Like one who would understand, and one, the others who do not wish to understand. So they are like very stubborn. The more you try to make them understand in a calm way, they'll be like, I'll be calling all the cops right now. You just wait. I don't want to listen to your bullshit. I can't let you do this over here. This is not allowed. And even the laws have an impact, because graffiti, it's still considered as illegal activity. It's totally considered as vandalism, which it is to an extent, but not completely. There is also a fine line between you know uh, making art and vandalizing a
I
place.
think
So
your point here, be like people who already have knowledge and still not accepting, like still not acknowledging that or are not ready to listen to you people when you are trying to make sense of what you are trying to do or let them understand. Even though you're not there to do some kind of art, just to talk about it, I think it's just about acceptance. It's about just accepting the fact that there are some kind of people who are into this, there are some kind of people who love making graffiti, and there is this kind of art which is called graffiti. It's just that people are not ready to accept things, because unke hisab se I think a lot of people are really narrow minded, in the sense that they are not ready to uh, get out of their comfort zone, understand new things, get new things in their context, get new things inside their brain, and get the idea of what art can be. I just said that without art, I think this world won't be a great place. We cannot see a lot of sceneries that we see in art, but made by different people. People having their own style to make a sketch, sitting near a cafe and seeing a lot of people go by and just making it up. अगर वो हमारे सामने नहीं होता तो I think we couldn't have recognized what art can be. And it's just not this. I mean, today we are selling these arts as NFTs. Today we are selling anything on 60,000 which is invisible and it's been sold on 60,000. I mean, if we can go that far, accepting this kind of art, accepting an art which people are actually doing through spray cans, which let me tell you, it's not easy for sure, because I have tried to use a spray can and it's not easy at all. I know that. And you yourself did it for around a year to just make your tag come to, just to understand how the strokes are, how the alphabets are done, and making it on a wall. ठीक है, सब कुछ छोड़ो, making it on a wall with a spray can where you don't know how, like it's just a stroke and you cannot even erase it. There's no eraser, there's no redos, there's nothing, and it's done by, like it's done in one go. So I absolutely agree with you here. Like, there are a lot of people who are ignorant and they're just narrow minded and are not ready to accept a lot of things. But, there is this question that I have in my mind, Uh, See, there are a lot of artists who are connected to each other because they draw, or they sketch, or they paint, or they the photography is that way, or the videography is that way. And even if it comes to wall arts or wall paintings or even interior designers, I think there are a lot of aspects which connect them together. Even architecture connects them together. I think there are few bits and pieces. So I would really like to know, what connects different graffiti artists. What does, like, what are the things that help you connect with other graffiti artists or even other artists around you? Is it jealous? Is it does it involve jealousy or envy or anything like that, or is it just straightforward ki, yes, we both are artists and we both respect it?
So there are two parts of this question, and the first part I would say ki the uniqueness of graffiti as a form of art, unites and connects other artists together. Because as graffiti artists, we all know ki, not a lot of people like to pick and choose graffiti as like they do like it, but they don't want to take it up as a hobby, or they don't want to make it, because I don't know how they understand, but they do understand कि it's a lot of work. Like it's not just making a simple sketch. It takes like if you don't make a font properly, if it's not smooth, then the whole piece will look shitty. So there are a lot of factors, but yeah, this is what connects other graffiti artists together, and that's how we can create a small community of graffiti artists. And yeah, talking about the second part where you said ki, whether we have conflicts or is there jealousy or something. I think it depends on the graffiti artist as a person. Like if you tell me ki, you are a graffiti artist, I'm a graffiti artist, and I wouldn't tell you, of course, but let's say I'm jealous. I'm jealous that you make better graffiti than I do. So of course I wouldn't say it, or I won't even show it. But there is a thing in within me. Okay, shit, man, he makes better than me. Like how? And I don't want that. I want my piece to be better than him or any other artists. So I think it's it totally depends on the artist as a person. Okay, how he or she is. Because one thing I understood ki we see just like rapping or like other elements of hip hop. There, artists they do diss each other just so they get the attention and fame or whatever it is, so that they can win. But it's the same in graffiti. For example, if I am making my piece on a wall, okay, after 1 month I see कि my piece is painted all over, and some other graffiti artist has made and came and made his piece. So that it depends on me how I take it. Now, to be very honest, I take it as a friendly word. Like, not, I just consider that as a word, not exactly, I don't mean war, but I take it as a friendly match. That okay, he has made over my piece, like it looks kind of better, I really like this style he has made. So ठीक है, chalo, this weekend I'll paint over again and I'll make some other style which will look better than my last piece. So I take it like that. Now suppose if I feel like, oh shit, just last month I made it, and this guy, he made his piece over mine when he had all the space. So if I feel ki I'll take revenge. So here comes the beef, right? Like it's beefing. I'll be like, हाँ ठीक है. I'll remove your name. Just my name will be over there on the wall. I don't want to see your name. If you ever make it, if you ever make your name on the wall, I will just erase it. I will just paint all over again, and I'll make my piece wherever you make. Here comes the jealousy part. Now, this totally depends on the artist. But like talking about me, I take everything as, a friendly match. Like, okay, fine, this looks better. He made it, acha. Because see, there are different graffiti artists, right? And all of them have different styles. So, of course, like someone else's style will not sync with mine. So, if let's say he's painting over my piece, and if it's nice, then of course I like it, right? Now I'll be like, हाँ ठीक है, चलो, I'll also paint over again. Now painting over is the same thing. If you talk about taking it as a friendly match and taking it as a jealousy part, both connects where I'm talking about the painting over again. So it's just one thing, but it depends how you take it.
I completely agree with you. It depends on person to person, and you being a person to take it as a friendly, friendly battle or friendly thing. Ki, yes, okay, this person has done it on me and on my art, and I'll do it again and make it better than my previous art. I think it also, like people should be acknowledged in this way that. I think there are a lot of aspects to it when it comes to someone doing something over someone else's art. And one point that I have in mind is that, you know thinking of the other art to be just like कि ठीक है अब जो हुआ हुआ जैसे कर दिया or having a friendly dispute is fine, but having that jealousy and everything is something that it won't make you be better. I think that person will be
Exactly.
there only. I think acknowledging
Yeah.
the other person's art, even if you are jealous of that art and you want to make it on top of their art, I think that person should be acknowledging कि ठीक है, this person has done a great job. I'll do it over it, but as a friendly dispute, or in the sense that I won't do it over it. आस पास करके I'll show that this is my art as well, and there can be a friendly dispute. And you people, people can actually boost each other and make the others better as well. Do better, do their best. So
Yeah.
that
True.
never stops, and there's always this friendly dispute that they never stop, and keep growing in this aspect. So the next question that I really want to ask you is that what is this one thing? Like, I mean, there are a lot of aspects that we don't know about graffiti as an art. एंड काफ़ी लोग एजुकेटेड नहीं है उसके बारे में, काफ़ी लोग को नॉलेज नहीं है, काफ़ी लोग इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं दिखाते कि वो गूगल करके भी देखे कि व्हाट इज ग्राफिटी, हाउ इट स्टार्टेड, what is done, how it can be done, and what are the different styles, what is tag, anything. So what would be that one common thing that people do not know about graffiti as an art?
The one thing that people do not know about graffiti, it's not one thing, it's a lot of things that people don't know about graffiti. Uh, you know, uh, the only thing that people know as graffiti about graffiti is that it's a form of art. It basically, means the lettering. Like if you're writing a word or your name, it has letters. So you make you make alphabets in different styles. So they just know this much about graffiti, but they surely do not know the process involved in making graffiti, whether on sketchbook or on wall or on any other surface. They just do not know what are the ways of doing graffiti, and what all equipments are needed to make graffiti. People always think you can only make graffiti with spray cans, and that is not true. That is true to an extent, but that is completely not true. Because if you have the will and if you really want to do it, just like I'm talking about me, in the beginning I really did not know where I could get spray cans or other equipments like the nozzles and all. I thought it's like I can get it online or I'll have to import from abroad. So that was one thing, because this culture was so underrated, and it's still underrated, but now people do know, because there are few not just graffiti artists, even artists of different genre, they also at times use spray cans. So it's not a big deal. People start getting to know कि अच्छा यहाँ पे भी मिलता है. If I don't get it in this shop, I can go to that mall, I can get it. So that time this thing wasn't that viral. So we had a lot of barriers, at least like me and the people who were doing graffiti with me. So there were a lot of obstacles, and like there were a lot of challenges ki how do I get this? Acha theek hai, bana to lenge. But how will I get this? If I don't get this, then I won't be able to make it, right? So people just know कि हाँ spray can से ही सब होता है, but it's not like that. If you really want to do it, like if you really have the passion to make it, then you can actually make it with any sort of paint, right? No matter how much paint you should have, because even a spray can, it's like it has limited quantity of paint, right? So it's nothing like you grab one spray can and you can make a whole piece. Like you can make the outlines, you can make the fill-ins, you can make the 3D in one spray can. That is not possible. So I think people should know even the basics. Ki starting from your motivation and willingness to do it. Like you can make it with anything, any sort of thing. Like if you don't have spray can, go with acrylics. If you don't have acrylics, go with wall paint. Like there are a hell lot of options which which most of us don't even know. But what's the harm in getting to know it, right?
Even I used to think that graffiti can be done by spray painting and on the wall only. I didn't know that we can go for different things as well, different kinds of materials that are available, different kinds of, materials to paint on even. Thank you so much for giving that understanding to me as well today, because I think a lot of people need to be curious about different things around us. I mean, vandalism is something that is done by, no offense to anyone, but a lot of people who are into parties, in the sense government parties and political parties and all, they do vandalism. The college, different kinds of colleges, when they are having their own presidential run or anything like that, they do a lot of kind of vandalism, and that's actually vandalism. When it comes to someone actually making something of spray cans on the wall, even though that wall is dirty enough, but that person makes it to be a very beautiful thing, out of their own style and own art that they want to do. That's not vandalism, I think. And having the permission to do it, or having the enthusiasm to actually make it a better piece, is something that people need to acknowledge. And I think a lot of people are ignorant. I think a lot of people should have this ability to be less ignorant and start accepting a lot of things. Kafi life easy ho jayega. It's not just their own life, I think the other person's life also will be easier, rather than having a huge argument, creating a ruckus about something that they don't have much knowledge about, and not giving opportunities to other people to even explain themselves that what they are doing and how they are doing. With this, I really want to ask you, as me being an advocate for mental health since the last 1.5 year, and always being this person who wants people to understand mental about their own mental health and mental health as per se, for like anything that is possible, I would really like to know what comes in your mind when I say these two words, that is pandemic and mental health.
Even I would say even this has two parts to this question. Mental health, it depends. It does not actually depend, but see, it's like, for example, if someone is going through a very hard time from the family part too, so of course over the times it will create, it will have an impact on that person's mind. And that's how, like, if it keeps growing, that's how mental health, it starts getting worse. And like that's how a lot of people, they they go through depression. And not just from family side, it can be anything. Like if a person is taking something to heart, and if that thing is affecting that person, very much. And if it continues, that's the beginning of, falling into depression. And here I would say ki, one part, mental health, it is somehow related to this pandemic too. And the other part, like how it has been going on without the pandemic. So that is the second part. So first part, I would say ki, yeah, the pandemic, it has had a very big impact on a lot of people's mental health, because all of us were, stuck in the same room or house or whatever. We were like caged inside. We weren't allowed to go. That's for our betterment, but at the same time, it wasn't, better for our mental health too, because we weren't, habituated to this kind of staying inside. Uh, like even if it is considered to be staying safe, but we weren't, we weren't used to it. So it was sort of a new thing to us. Yeah, in childhood also we used to go around. We used to go outside. When we were in school, like every day we were out. On weekends we used to go out and have our thing. It all like basically we go out every day. Now suddenly pandemic strikes in, and we had to be caged inside. Whatever it is, like we have to go to the market and all to get our necessities. It was a matter of maybe 1 hour, and the whole 23 hours we were inside. So it had a very big impact. And also, like, going to the market, it's not uh it's not like we were allowed to go. Our parents or someone else was, asked to go to the market, get the necessities, and just come back as soon as possible. So, and even the government made the rules. So, basically, we were staying inside for the whole time, and we did not expect or even think about this, or we weren't even ready for it. So it had a very big impact on many people's uh, mental health, and it crippled. I heard about a couple of people, they even lost their lives. They weren't affected by COVID, but due to some mental health issues, they lost their lives. So it seriously had a very big impact, even if they weren't infected, but their mental health was infected.
And talking
And
about other people's mental health, yes, a lot of people have lost their life because of the pandemic, because of their mental health, because of the pandemic, and because of their own financial health, their own physical health. There are a lot of scenarios that can be uh, put out because of the pandemic, which have because of pandemic, those scenarios have come out. And if the pandemic was not there, I think those things wouldn't have happened. A lot of people wouldn't have had lost their lives. But on the positive side of it, I think there are a lot of people who have had the opportunity to figure out their own lives, figure out what they love, start their own stuff, do some incredible jobs, and start their own thing and be great huge creators, bakers, and whatever else. That I have had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people regarding that. And seriously, it's something, I don't know, like, we say that everything in our life has two aspects at least. That is the good part and the bad part. The other parts are different. And the pandemic has had that impact as well. It has been good and bad at the same time. uh, and we cannot actually point out the for the pandemic to be exactly the worst situation that we as a human species have gone through. There have been a lot of development, everything has come on the internet, things have been easier, things have been tough as well. There have been a lot of loss of jobs, businesses, and everything. I mean, there are pros and cons to it altogether, and we cannot point out one single thing. So we have talked about a lot of issues. We have talked about how you started. We have talked about the pandemic as well. We have talked, like, I mean, you have shared your journey. I mean, a lot of things that you have known and a lot of things that you have educated yourself with. But one thing that is still in my mind, why the name Dexter? I mean, DXTR. How did it come to your mind? What made you, have that name as Dexter for yourself?
Uh, like since the time I started, I was, I was stressing my mind ki I should have a very unique name, just like all the other artists. I mean, every artist's name is very unique, and that's how most of the people they know that artist. Maybe they don't know the artist's real name, but they call that artist by their tag name or like whatever that unique name. So I was, stressing my mind ki I want a unique name for myself. So starting from like in class 8, I did not stress that much, but uh, like before I was promoted to class 9, it happened, that time ki I was thinking ki what name can I choose for myself so that, people know me. I honestly have switched to a hell lot of names and which sound very stupid. I don't even remember, even one name that I have used previously. But I think switching names kind of helped me to figure out this name which I have right now. And when I actually thought of this name, Dexter, I was actually influenced by that cartoon series you must be knowing, Dexter's Laboratory. It used to show in Cartoon Network.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, so um, the history behind this name, behind keeping this name was like Dexter used to always, create something like
Yeah.
experiment things in his labs and create something, even if it's an explosion or something. So I thought, ki, why don't I keep my name as Dexter, and I will try to experiment and create new styles, new fonts of my own. Like I will use my brains and create new font styles or like coloring patterns. See, everyone uh use their own coloring pattern or they even change, and that is fine. So I thought of keeping this name, and since that time I was like, "Acha, theek hai, chalo. I'll try my best to make new fonts, new styles of my own, which will be different from like way different from other artists, and I will keep changing. I will keep experimenting." So that was the
It's
whole
it's a crazy
history.
inspirational story, to be very honest. I mean, Dexter used to be this naughty little kid who used to who just wanted to make something. I think against his sister, and his sister used to come along and destroy his laboratory in a whole different way. Getting the inspiration of Dexter, the cartoon, and having the opportunity to make it as ki, you'll do your own wrong stuff, have the opportunity to correct yourself again and again, make yourself better again and again, as Dexter does after his every experiment. So it's really nice to see that, getting that inspiration from a funny little cartoon that we never knew ki will be using in this way. So it's really amazing. But as weird and like, as funny as this thing is, or as inspirational this thing can go, I would really like to know what kind of weird questions have you been asked, regarding your work or regarding graffiti. I mean, if it's not a lot of questions, any one question that you could share with us, anything that has been weird for you and you didn't expect anyone to ask you.
Yeah, I do remember one weird or weirdest question I have been asked by a couple of people, which was, how far do you think can you go with this? Like, if I ask someone who is, doing his BCom, has done his CA, and still, let's say I'm not considering his future, let's say I go and ask him, ki, how far do you think you can go, or how, like, what do you think? What kind of job can you get by doing this course? So of course, it's a very weird and very stupid kind of question that people ask. Like, I myself, I don't decide my. I have not written my future. I don't even know what is going to happen. So how will I? Like, how do you expect me to tell you in general ki how far I will go? I may go far, I may not go far, and that totally depends on my future and how I actually, like shape my presence so that it can, you know, move forward to the future.
This is something that people have also asked me. I have been passionate about talking to people about different kinds of things since a very long time, but I figured it out during the pandemic and I started this podcast in that way, talking about different stereotypical and taboo topics, so that if people listen to my podcast, I think they'll get the opportunity to understand certain things about that particular topic. And talking, having the opportunity to start this third season where I've been talking to different people who have started something unorthodox, have been doing something unorthodox and unconventional as respect to the society in India. I think I have had the chance to, understand a lot of things, and people have always asked me कि कैसे क्या होगा इससे and कितना ही, there is no future in this and all that. But, and even my parents were like कि क्या हो जाएगा. But once they saw that, I'm so passionate about it, I enjoy it so much. I'm putting in efforts in it. Not, I don't think so. I've had the chance to put all my efforts in it, but giving all, giving anything and everything that at that moment I can give, it has shown them that there can be something out of this, and I'm sure it's going to be for you as well. I mean, you know I think you also didn't think that you'll have the chance to talk to, talk about your whole journey in a podcast. I don't think that I ever thought that I have the chance to talk to you and bring you on my podcast and talk about your journey, understand graffiti. But see, I think, as you said, that we don't know our future, we don't write our future, but we make our future for sure. You being passionate in the last 8 years, I being passionate in the last 1.5 year has bring us along here talking about your thing, talking about my thing, having the opportunity to spread and let other people know about your story, having the opportunity for me to be in front of a camera who is so shy that who cannot get into the stage and say something, who has been that kid all his life, has the opportunity to talk to people on camera, make reels, talk to different people all together to get more knowledge and educate myself and other people. So, I think that's all about it. Being passionate and being hardworking and showing it to ourselves rather than other people that, this is something that we want to do and this is something that will take us far, will make us happy, makes us makes our future and give us the chance to be in this point that we are today. So trust me, uh, to be very honest, kudos to you, to be able to get along, all your difficulties that you have had in your life, all those challenges, all those prejudices that people have brought on you, and crossing them and having the opportunity to be different altogether from other people and do your own art, do your own stuff. So kudos to you and really cheers for that. And David, it's been amazing talking to you, to be very honest. But I have a few more questions that I'll go along. Uh, One question that I would really like to ask you, as you have had the chance to have the experience of the past years that you have had, uh, I would really like to know what kind of advice would you like to give to anyone who wants to get into this whole industry of a graffiti artist, be a graffiti artist, or also do it as their passion or a side hobby, whatever it is. What kind of advice would you like to give them?
Firstly, I would say ki, you must, if not interest, then at least you must have a liking towards it. And I don't mean that kind of liking where you will just see a graffiti piece or an artwork made on a wall or on a sketch on someone's sketchbook or anywhere, and you be like, oh, acha, yeah, this is very, you know, it's very stylized form of art, and I really liked it. I don't mean that. I mean you should have such kind of liking which will, you know, drag your attention, and it will kind of make you curious and motivated to at least start off. Like, you know, first you will have to start from the bottom, and slowly you will, you know, start understanding how it is made, like the basics. So first, like you must have such a liking towards this form of art that uh, yeah, I want to learn. Like, you know, I want to learn how to make this kind of thing. You know, it's very cool, and I want people to know that I can also make graffiti. Like, people must have this thing in their mind. This can be helpful to, you know, motivate them, and you know, get them started with making graffiti. So that is the first part, and the second part is that you must keep going with this. If you start off, you must keep going, because personally speaking, I have had a hell lot of times where I thought ki I will quit, and I have taken like very long breaks in between, thinking that I have quit. But I don't know, something, you know, pulls me back to graffiti, and I start all over again. So this thing, I'm not sure if, you know, all the graffiti artists face this or not. But yeah, there are possibilities that people can face this, you know, like they will feel कि नहीं हो रहा है भाई, छोड़ दे रहा है. So they might stop for a while, but if you keep up, that's the thing which matters. Like, you have to keep going with it, and if you keep going with it,
Sorry, you continue.
yeah, like if you keep going with it, that's where, you know, the doors of opportunities, it starts to open up.
I 100%, and I mean, you have my full agreement here, because you know, starting something unorthodox and not having that kind of support or that kind of curiosity, you know, people with such curious minds around you who want to know about your art that much, who want to push you, who want to support you all the way, can make you, you know, quit very easily. And not having the chance to, you know, not having the universe also call you out for doing what you are doing and giving you opportunities in different way, can also break your heart, like, you know, make you quit very easily. But getting to that point where you actually said that you have had the chance and you have also quit a lot of times, where you have felt that you have quit but you have always come back to graffiti, it's something that people can take something from you. It's something that is very much motivational for a lot of people, for sure, because काफी लोग इस समय feel the same. I have felt the same. But this is the commitment that I have given to myself, because all my life there have been a lot of situations, lot of relationships, even friendships, that I have quit on. This is something that I don't want to quit on. This is something, even though I don't earn money with, I want to continue, I want to do, and I want to learn from. And it has helped me to be a better person. It has helped me to be a person that I really adore and love. And I'm sure it has made the same for you, because, you know, being something that you're passionate in will not only make you better in that thing that you're doing, in that art that you're doing, but also a better human, because it makes you humble. I mean, being passionate has always been something that will always make you humble first, rather than something, you know, which is negative towards someone. What if, you know, you had the superpower of not getting, you know, not being, not, like, I'll rephrase the question. What if you had the superpower of not failing on anything that you would do in life? I mean, if it was the first time you are actually making a pizza, you didn't fail. If it's the first time you are actually making something for cancer, you don't fail. So, would you like to have that kind of superpower? And if you had that superpower, how would your life be?
Um, I would say कि I would not want to have that superpower where I can not fail in a particular thing or anything. Because if I never failed, then I wouldn't learn how to, make up that portion so that, it does not happen next time. And failure, I know it's like it's difficult for a lot of people, but it is actually very helpful. Like it can make you realize, like if so, for example, if uh, you know let's say I'm making a graffiti on my sketchbook. I'm let's say making graffiti with a portrait of someone. Okay. The whole sketch is done. I'm left with coloring the piece. So let's say I'm using watercolors for the graffiti, and same goes for the portrait. So I'm almost like 70% of it. I'm done coloring it, but right that moment, the paint it got splattered or blotted, and the whole artwork, the whole piece, it got ruined. So that is, I consider that as a failure. Like I was about to complete it. I was about to reach the end line, but before that it got ruined. So it's like a failure. So I would understand how the paint got blotted, so that next time I can keep that in mind and I can be aware of it. Same goes for any kind of failure. Like if you you know if you do not, let's talk about school life. If you do not study and last moment mein whatever you studied wasn't enough and you failed, you flunked, so that will make you realize like that 1 year gap, that and a lot of other factors like uh, juniors coming, and you are joining your juniors, you are doing all the class with them, you are all alone because they have their own friend group and your friend group has moved on to the higher class. So you are left, literally left all alone for that whole year, or maybe for the rest of your school life, because your friend group has moved on. Maybe during the break you'll meet up, but during the class, like the whole school time, you are left alone. So a lot of factors like this will make you realize that 1 year gap, that shit man, if I would have studied like earlier, then maybe I wouldn't have failed and I would be with my friends. So a lot of things, this failure will make you realize a lot of stuff which can be helpful for your future. Right. So I consider this, and I wouldn't like to have that superpower to, not fail at anything. Because it's life. I would like to experience everything.
And I think, yeah, my reason to ask this question is to get a perspective of what failure can be. Because people talk about their success a lot rather than their failures, and a lot of people have started to talk about failures of, uh, you know, huge people who have become great entrepreneurs and billionaires, or someone who has been recognized by all and everything. उनके बारे में हम failures के बारे में ज़रूर बात करते हैं, उनके failures के बारे में. But when it comes to getting that whole thing on us, on ourselves, I think we still struggle. We're still not ready to accept that failure and move on and learn from it, and be a better person and not make that be that failure again. It's just that कि हम लोग के लिए वो failure एक pause हो जाता है, because as you said, as from your example, we can see that there are a lot of people around. Means failing in a class will have a lot of people around us who are not our friends, who are not our peers, in the sense like personal close friends and everyone. And वही चीज़ अपने लाइफ में भी होता है जब हम लोग इस लेवल पे भी अगर फेल करते हैं तो. एंड पीपल आर लाइक you failed in it. Like they make you realize without them even knowing that they are making us realize. And failure is a huge thing. I mean, we need to make failure a huge thing to learn from it rather than giving up. To be a better
Yeah, like
person and get that
all,
success.
yeah, all the people won't help you realize it. They
Yeah,
will tell you you have failed just to make you feel very bad,
yes.
and just to like they can use this as a weapon against you in front of others. That okay, yeah, he's a
ये तो
failure. He
yeah.
cannot do anything. Like he's useless. So just chuck him out of this group. Or like even this goes on within the families too. Like
Yeah,
relatives come,
absolutely.
hey, kya hua? Yeah.
Absolutely,
So this
absolutely.
thing it keeps going on, but realization it comes from within. Like if you do not realize it, then no one else can make you
And the
realize.
biggest thing is ki it's not that your failure will stop you from, doing what you want to do. Eventually, you will do what you want to do. People will give you
Yeah.
advices, people will tell you to do this, people will make you feel small, people will make you feel better. But at the end, you will feel what you will feel and you will do what you will do. So, taking your failure and accept, as you said, that realizing by yourself that that failure is just a pit stop, you'll repair yourself and then get back in the race again. It's just that, it's just realizing that. And I think, a lot of people are getting there, but a lot of people are still behind in getting there. And eventually I'll be sharing this episode with a lot of people, and I hope they listen to it and they'll get this whole concept ki, understand from our point of view ki failure is not the end of life, and even success is not the end of life. If you succeed in something, you get to the next level to get to success in the other thing again. You don't stop, right? There's no
That's true.
perfection, there's no limitation on the wants and needs we have in our lives. Like this is a major default in human beings कि हम लोग कभी भी कहीं पे stop नहीं होंगे, चाहे वो हम लोग perfectly कर चुके हों, चाहे we have had a success in that, और चाहे we have got to the need and want that we want to, उसके बाद it keeps on exceeding. So failure shouldn't be the thing that stops you if success is not something that stops you. So it's
Yeah,
simple as
exactly.
that, and people need to
A lot,
understand that.
yeah, a lot of people say ki, there is no limit to learning.
Yeah, yeah,
So it should be like there is no limit to have success.
yeah.
Like even though you have achieved your milestone or success in life, there is no stopping.
Same goes for failure.
And yeah, and if you want to stop, that is like people's personal
Choice.
perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
choice.
absolutely. So, David, it has been an amazing time talking to you about your journey and your perspectives. I have enjoyed a lot talking to you, and I have learned a lot of things from you for sure about your whole, profession as a graffiti artist as well. Plus, also got some learnings about personal life as well. So, thank you so much for doing this episode. Thank you for sharing your journey. More power to you, and I hope and pray for you to, have a lot of success in this journey, because I think if people like you, people who are into graffiti artists, graffiti as such, they get that success, I think there are a lot of people who are going to follow you. Even if you have had your own failures, you have had your own pit stops, I hope you get a major success in life so that a lot of people recognize you and the art as well. So yeah, thank you so much, David, for doing this episode.
Thank you so much for making me a part of your podcast. It was like really great to be a part of it, and I wish you success. I could say ki you can you will succeed with this profession or the thing you are loving to do. I know it. If you keep going, that then you will reach the peak. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure about it, and I really wish you success and
Thank
more
you.
power to you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much everyone for listening to this episode. If you like my content and still haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do it now and help me grow. And if you like the episode today, please like, share and comment as well. And I have shared a few links down on the description below. please give a follow. Also, my podcast is available on various other platforms. The link to them are on the description below. Thank you so much, everyone. Next episode, next Saturday.